Greetings and namaskar. Thanks very much indeed, Professor Afzal Mohammed from the Department of South Asia Studies, University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and editor of Saranga magazine in English for facilitating this presentation of my review of Nivedita Louis' book, Whistle. Many thanks to the author, Nivedita, for joining us for this program, all the way from Istanbul, Turkey. I am very grateful to both of you and for all the viewers of this video. Nivedita Louis, author, researcher, feminist, and social activist, is presently the editor and co-founder of Her Writers, which is blazing a trail for the writings of women in Tamil. With Mr. Ballidasan as a senior partner, a scholar, and a friend of women, there is no stopping them. Louis' book, Whistle, was launched recently in this year's book fair in Chennai with the distinguished literary historian, Professor Prema Ratinavel, as the keynote speaker, who introduced the unique features of this personal narrative to a captive audience. It covers the author's early years when she worked as a young trainee with the Indian Railways, a position she earned through several grueling rounds of qualifying exams after R.R.B. It entailed working within the challenging rigidity of a hierarchical structure. Her tenure as a commercial clerk with a transshipment department and weighbridges taught her a lot. Her introduction, Arumugam, opens with humility coupled with an irrepressible sense of humor which characterizes Louis. She looks back at a seemingly innocuous incident that becomes a defining moment for her self-actualization. A student asks her if she was in Kallukuri counter between 2009 and 2012. Taken aback, she asks him, how could he tell when she was just an arm jutting out and in and out of an iron grill issuing tickets? Did she fight with him? Did she refuse a ticket for him? Not at all, madam, says the boy. He remembered her for always being engrossed in reading books in between work. Louis recalls reading Paulo Coelho, the Brazilian novelist. So a hand that mechanically extended beyond an iron grill got a face, her face. This trait marks the narrative throughout the book, a healthy tendency to introspect, to question herself when she wonders about the work culture of the railways. They are tempered with humor laced with satire and vivacity that keeps her sane, grounded, and focused on work. When Kevin, the boy, circles around her and professes love, she reminds herself to avoid kadal katrikai, which is a typical Tamil dismissal of the frivolities of adolescent attachments. Like they say in Hindi, love sure. Very early on, Louis realizes the grave risk to her life and the lives of her loved ones if she speaks out. The day her small son informs her, someone stood at his school gate and asked him if he was her son, decides her course of action. Still, to emphasize the point of her being a married woman with 2 small children and an aging single father to look after would be a willful denial of her personhood. The woman, the mother, and the railway commercial clerk are inseparable. What is more significant is her moral indignation, which in Tamil we call dharmika kobam. This dharmika kobam is seething within her. She decides to record all that happened in her professional and private life with intellectual honesty. In her endorsement, the eminent writer M.A. Sushila compares her book to Gandhiji's My Experiments with Truth. The narrator in Whistle is not an I, it is a she. It unfolds like a crime fiction in which she is an indefatigable sleuth out to uncover the persons behind all the wrongdoings in the railways. But she realizes that people have normalized corruption. We follow her every movement in the brisk, edge-of-the-seat narrative, fully aware that even if she has taken a silent decision not to be a whistleblower, people know she has a whistle in her hand. Louis' entire being rebels against the appalling working conditions, the extra pain for women, the discomfort of wearing saris, the embarrassment of having common bathing rooms for male, female, unhygienic washrooms, and so on and so on. And added to this is the sexual harassment for women who work till late hours. If a woman rebuffs, men resort to vengeance. Isn't it time? We subvert the oft-quoted line from William Congreve's play to read as, "Hell hath no fury like a man's scorned." Plain misogyny masquerading as sexual harassment in a ploy to intimidate the female workforce so that they leave their job. In addition, Louis reaps typical appellations: Chandi Rani, Adanga Pidari, which is in Tamil a rebellious girl, Vayadi, too unspoken a girl, and Jhansi Rani, to which she retorts, "If the Rani had a sharp sword, I have a sharp tongue." The women show their mettle by working tenaciously through menstruation, childbirth, sicknesses. So does Louis, despite serious health issues. Mercifully, there are some angels. Richard Sir, Mohan Sir, his wife, Pandian Sir, Vigilant Sundar, Conrad Gopalan, and finally Francis, to name a few. Two distinct strands run neck to neck in her narrative. One is her uncanny wizardry in numerology and the mystic connections of numerals which haunt her wherever she goes with her astounding memory. The other is an equally adhesive memory for recalling some of the profound lines from Shakespeare and other poets she heard from her mother, an English teacher. As a voracious reader, she's consumed by a hunger for wisdom, called culled from the eclectic range of her reading. All of these guide her through the most perplexing situations and help her gain a stoic acceptance of life with a philosophic outlook for one so young. Even as a small girl, she quotes from Hamlet, "The heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to." Whistle has an informal, friendly style, peppered with the slangy speech rhythms of street language while noting the unsettling truth around her. It would be great to read a review of this book by a numerologist. How do the magical numbers 3, 6, 9 function? Louis would have been a professor of math if the wish to write didn't come as a calling. And finally, one does hear the whistle blowing from a rice cooker coming from the house next door. Thank you. I would now request the author Nivedita Louis to read a few excerpts from her Tamil book, Whistle. It would be great to hear these lines in her own voice. Nivedita Louis reading from this.